Hi, James Pax from Big Trouble in Little China. We are watching Taboo's Comics and Kicks.
Wow. Super, super excited about this day. First of all, I want to acknowledge my brother Will.i.am for his leadership in saying, yo, Tab, bring your podcast to the FYI campus. I got to show my love to the FYI campus. Thank you guys for supporting our vision, our show, and just got to give you guys your flowers. So thank you, FYI campus. My guest today, this is my first time meeting him. He's an American actor who produced in Hollywood, Hong Kong, and Japan. Just some of his films that he's done, besides the big one that I'm going to talk about. He's done Year of the Dragon, In Love with War with James Woods, Kinjite with Charles Bronson, one of my favorite actors. Bethune, The Making of Hero with Donald Sutherland.
That is
another icon.
Icon.
And one of my favorite movies, ladies and gentlemen, Big Trouble in Little China. The man that I'm speaking about is the talented, the gifted, the martial artist, better known as James Pax.
Thank you, guys. And I really wanted to thank Taboo and Brian inviting me on the show.
Thank you, man.
I have to say first, all right, to all my fans, that Taboo has always been my icon as a hip hop artist.
Oh,
man. Although that he's not in the main, figure in the Black Eyed Peas, but just his look always stands out, and the way he moves and the way he dress, he always stands out alone by himself because of his heights and all of that.
Thank you, brother.
And for a long time, I always wonder, why is this guy not doing movies? A guy like that, I mean, you are, a mix, right? Various mix. That should be doing movies from left and right because I'm a director now. But back then, I was just an actor. I was already thinking, oh, this guy would have been a great actor. And only recently, when you invited me, so I went back and do some research that you were in a street fighter, yeah? And then I saw a scene of you wearing a mask with a lady. I said, gee, there should be more scenes of him taking off his mask and, have a dialogue and maybe fight without a mask. Yeah. Because I'm a director now. And if I was directing Street Fighter, that's what I would do with you as a character. Really, I really believe a lot of actors just have that look and just have that natural talent. You don't really need to go to school to learn how to act. A lot of times, simple dialogue, you just play yourself. Yeah. And sometimes people with a natural talent have that certain personality, just playing themselves is interesting enough for the audience to catch their eyes and say, hey, look at that, Taboo, he can act. And that's the kind of impression that I had since, 10 years ago when I was listening to music.
What I just heard
and
is he's going to put you in his next movie.
That's what I heard too. After all that spiel, I heard.
He said, I'm a director.
Yes.
He's a good actor.
Right?
So
Yes.
He said 10 years of me watching you to eventually direct you in a movie.
That's right.
I'm with it, man.
Right. Yeah.
Yo,
I do have a movie project. Maybe later during the show, we can talk more about it. Yeah.
Cool.
So basically, but is it okay that I, talk about, just so the fans know, this year is the 40th anniversary of Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
Yes. Lightning.
My God.
Lightning.
40 years. When I first went on the set, I came in from New York. I was just a young man with only one credit, another Asian movie that you might know of called Year of the Dragon by Michael Cimino. And I played Zhang Long's right-hand assassin. Yeah. I'm the one that actually killed Mickey Rourke's wife in the bathroom. So playing an assassin. And then right after that, I flew in and did this movie, Big Trouble. But when I got on the set, man, it was big, because I was always doing commercials in New York, and I was a dancer too.
Oh, nice.
One of the first Asian male dancer, by the way, back in the 80s at that time, and doing a lot of background dancing in jazz and all of that. But when I arrived at the studio at the 20th Century Fox and saw the sets, that's when I realized, man, this is Hollywood movie making. It's not TV series.
Yeah, of course.
And gotta tell you that back then, the way they make movie, all the sets are real. There was no CGI. There was no green screen. Everything you see in that movie, the Buddhas, the neon signs, the big temple fight and everything was all real sets. And imagine how much money they spent. 8 studios with real sets in each one of them. That's how they make this movie. And then I play the character of Lightning. And you remember I do all that, hand fighting and then shooting on Lightning. And I was yelling as well. It came out looking good, right?
Yeah.
But do you know that back then, all of that was not CGI. It was actually hand drawn in, by an artist with multi-color in blue to make it look so good.
Right.
I doubt that you're going to find another movie today, Marvels or whatever, a Lightning character that can do as good the Lightning as I have done. But it was actually done by a artist, hand drawn in every single frame of it.
Can I give him his flowers for being the first iteration of Raiden Mortal Kombat? Right? Right? He was the first iteration.
That's right.
Because I know that Mortal Kombat based their characters, one of them on Lightning.
Yes. Actually, I met the Daniel Pesina is actually the action capture stuntman for several characters. And he said to me that you're my idol because it was you who inspired me to create all these characters and the movement. And it was you who inspired me to do all of those actions. So, and I saw every time a lot of fans ask me, oh, you're Raiden's right? Raiden, it was inspired by you. I say, yeah, I'm Raiden's granddaddy. Granddaddy, yes.
Facts.
Was what, at least 3 or 5 years before Raiden came out, that kind of thing. Mortal Kombat, yeah. But it's an incredible movie, I must say. You know why? These days you watch a lot of action movies, all actions is good, but you are not going to find a movie like Big Trouble that it has great one-liners, beautiful Green-Eyed Girl by Kim Cattrall, and a little bit of horror with the monsters, and on top of that with incredible kung fu fight, and just full of fun. Action, but no actual violence. So you don't see any blood in it. So the whole entire family can watch it at home in the theaters and when you're cooking, eating, or
it has
whatsoever.
no blood in that movie at all?
No blood in that movie.
I don't think I ever,
That's
I've watched it a million times, but I don't think I ever picked up on
and
that.
I'll also add a layer of Kurt Russell did a great job being the Hollywood star, but being able to shine along with the other actors. Like, I liked how he passed the ball a lot.
Right.
It wasn't just his movie. It was like everybody shined.
Everybody shined. I have to tell you, first time meeting him, because also my first day on the set in Hollywood, he immediately just came up and shook my hand like he already knew me.
Yeah.
That's the kind of vibe Kurt has. And I really admire him for that. As you know, that back then in the 80s, Asians is in the very bottom of the whole strata, white, black, Latino, and Asian. But he was just so kind. Every time he sees me in the morning, he's always the first one. Hey, James, come into my trailer. You want some drinks? Come in anytime. Don't be shy. That's the way he treated me. And he was the same with everybody.
Yeah.
He's such a wonderful human being. And that's what I admire, really.
What did you take away from that moment of being, you guys went to battle with Kurt Russell, scene for scene. And, what was Lopan's name?
Lopan is James Hahn.
James Hahn, another great actor.
94 or 95 years
that
old.
movie, though, he creeped me out, though.
He was creepy,
He was creepy. Like,
that's the horror component,
I remember being a kid watching him. I'm going, dude, I'm going to have nightmares about this dude.
Creepy, especially when he did that.
Yeah.
What was that like for you to be able to go toe-to-toe with Kurt Russell and Kim Cattrall, everybody that was part of that movie, like for you, your first time being part of a blockbuster movie?
That's right. Well, I have to say it was like a young man learning about the craft of movie making and to be among, the Hollywood top star, Kurt Russell. And then, of course, working with the rest of the Asian crews and actors and all of that and the stuntmen. It was an experience not to be forgotten. And to know that Kurt treated me just like any other actor And I was very surprised because I always felt there's a discrimination in the business. You know, these days is much easier because every series now you see an Asian character in it. But back then, one Asian character, you know, whether it's Asian, Korean, Vietnamese, I'm always up for it. And yet you go there and audition, there's another 50 actors that are Asian auditioning for the same role.
Right.
And whoever gets the role, everybody's going, you know, it's that kind of a field because the field is so tight, so few roles.
Very competitive.
Very competitive. And I can see why other actors are looking at me the way they are because they feel, why am I coming in from New York and take away their parts?
Right.
You know, but that is also one of the reasons that by 1990, I decided to expand myself and go to Hong Kong, you know, because originally I'm from Hong Kong, immigrated from Hong Kong since I was a teen. So after Big Trouble in Little China in 86, and then I went on to do all that movies with Charles Bronson and James Wood, and went on to, from 90 on, I went on to Hong Kong to do movies with Michelle Yeoh, the movie that you did not mention, but I will tell you now. I did an incredible action fantasy movie in Hong Kong called The Heroic Trio. And Michelle Yeoh was one of the three main heroines in that movie, and it was full of fun. And it's actually my first movie coming in from Hollywood. And because of the credits I had, you know, the Hong Kong market welcomed me, but it was actually Michelle Yeoh that brought me into the movie and met up with the director. Immediately, the director said, okay, fine, use him. Whatever you like, Michelle, because Michelle is a powerful lady back then, already a star. So Michelle said, yeah, use James. He's a good friend of mine, you know, that kind of thing. So I was grateful. And till today, I'm very grateful for Michelle, and I can't wait to see her again.
Shout out to Michelle Yeoh. She's one of my favorites too. I love Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Before she did Wicked and all the new movies that she's been in, she's just always been top-notch, class act, matriarch, just embodies what it is to be a powerful woman. I want to go back to Big Trouble in Little China because I said blockbuster, but when Gerald was here, he said it actually tanked at the box office. But the resurgence of people tapping into it after it was out on DVD, video, it became like a cult classic.
That is right. Through the last 40 years on DVD and also on a lot of channels, movie channels and TV channels around the world. And now it's actually free on YouTube. It really built up a big, I would say, at least 5 to 10 million fans around the world.
Definitely.
Not just the older generation like myself, but also younger crowds. You know, I even have fans at 17 come up to me, you know, with mother, and mother will say, oh, you know what, my boy, and here's my girl. They all adore you because I showed them the movie when they were just in their, you know, in their teens, and they love you. And that's why the whole family, like 6 people came up to me and all of that. And actually, I'm going to UK for a Comic-Con, and I have a 17-year-old German young man called Louise, who is coming all the way with a mother because, you know, he's a little underage, so his mother has to accompany him to come and meet me, and he's already talking to me on Instagram and saying, oh, I want this, I want that for you, from you, can you please bring it, you know, and sign it for me? I said, of course. See, that really makes me feel good that such a I wouldn't say iconic role, but Lightning really affected a lot of souls around the world, not just the, you know, older generation, but now the young generation are really catching up. And I cannot imagine that he doesn't even know me in person. He already sending me a message,
of course,
you know, talking to me and all of that. It's
what
amazing.
A blessing it is to do cons, huh? Like whether WonderCons, Comic-Con, anything that deals with, you know, being with the fan base and seeing you're giving them your undivided attention, you're signing autographs, they're there, they're waiting in line. We talked to Claudia about that, and she just said how it just reinvigorated her life beyond just acting. Now you're able to do all these different meet and greets and signings.
Yes.
Let's take the viewer through an experience. What's your experience like?
Well, I've been to at least 20 cons now. I started about 3 years ago. It was just right after the COVID. And I have to say it's a continuation of my acting career, I would say. I wouldn't say a second life, but it's just a continuation to see and meet your fans, to realize that how many of them from, of all sectors and all races, of all ages, they appreciate the parts that I do. And that's really give me such a wonderful feeling.
Exactly.
That, my God, so many people I don't know, and they adore my acting.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the kind of person, I'm a very soulful person. Every fan that come up to me, I always give them a hug, because I want them to feel that
That's
James
a lie,
Pax.
James. I didn't get a hug.
Not yet.
And I'm a fan.
That's true. That's true.
I'm a
It's
fan.
It's coming.
And I didn't get a hug.
That's right.
Start over.
You
You gotta
will.
leave and come back.
Yes, that's not right now. And I want them to feel at home. I want them to feel that I am their friend, and they can send me message on Instagram and I will reply them, that kind of thing. And for life, because I believe without the fan support, I wouldn't be here talking to you.
Yeah.
And without my fan support, I won't be a director, as I will be directing Vortex. And later, maybe I will tell you a little bit more about it. And it's just a wonderful experience. And the 40th anniversary, just to show the fans, here is my schedule.
That's your tour.
That's
your
my
new
tour schedule, yes. So from Florida to Ohio, my God, Oregon.
I'm going to bring a map.
Yeah.
No, he's
Colorado.
like, taking my dates
Yeah, there you go.
from March to May.
May and then all the way to July.
James, leave it up there. He's going to punch in on it real quick.
Oh,
leave
okay.
it on there. He'll punch in real quick and we get a nice tight shot on that for your fans so they can see it. Because I know they'll want to see you. I know we would love to see you, so I know
Great,
they'll want to see this. So give it a sec. When's the next one? You can put it down now. He got
it's
it.
going to be actually not far from here in a comic book store in Chatsworth.
Okay.
It's near. And then I go to Florida for 3 events.
Wow.
Yeah, and May will be at the Hawkinge, 2 hours away from London.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, I'm going to be in Australia very soon. I can't say when, but most likely it's going to be in October.
Right.
Again, first time ever in Australia.
The international fans are amazing, right?
Oh,
It's just
it is.
overwhelming to see the love that the international fan base for that movie and all the
Yes.
other things you've done.
Yes.
I really want people to know how important the global market is, especially when we're doing signings and meet and greets, because you never know outside of the US who you're impacting, especially with your art and your
Yes. To echo what you're saying, I'm sure you had the similar experience when you travel into Europe and into Asia.
Yep.
It really, I think Hollywood audience, or maybe the Hollywood producers, they think a little too much just about American market. That could be hundreds of millions, but they don't know that in Asia, just China alone, that a lot of people don't know, is already the second largest movie market in the world. It means one Chinese movie alone airing just in China theaters, and the gross revenue can be bigger than American movies. And in the ranking of the 10 movies each year, Chinese movie always come in within the top 5. And you never hear about them because they never showed it, they never exported and showed it anywhere around the world. And that's how big China market is.
Is there a certain genre of movies in China that do very well?
Well, definitely in terms of American movies, it's always action movie that does well. And the
Fast
star.
and Furious.
Fast and Furious, John Wick, Avatar, recently did very well. All these movies, and Disney, of course.
Zootopia.
Yes.
I just watched the second one with Gabby the other night. Have you seen it yet?
Yeah. Shakira.
Yeah, Shakira. Yeah, I just watched the second one. We hadn't seen it yet, but she loved it.
But just to mention, one of the best Chinese animation that ever been played outside of China is, what is the name? Nuzhe, Nuzhe, which is a fabulous Chinese produced and made animation, and based on Chinese Nuzhe. Yes.
N-O. I'm going to write it down.
I think it's Nuzhe.
Okay.
And it's also played around California, but I think the audience that saw it are mostly Asians. But I have to say, this movie is for the fans, Americans, to watch it. It's really good. The the graphics and everything. It's a
It's a
different
Chinese
type.
film, though.
Chinese, yes.
So
Speaking in
subtitles.
Chinese with subtitles.
So-
Yes.
Okay.
But the drawing and everything in the story is
Yeah.
very family oriented, and it's really comparable to a Disney in a very different way.
Right.
So Chinese is coming around.
That's cool.
Chinese movies, not the live action yet, but this Noja is really the best in the last, I would say, 100 years.
That's
out
how
of
you
China.
pronounce it. Noja.
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 Yes.
This was
Noja.
Nezha.
Ah, okay, that's how they put.
Noja.
Yeah, Noja.
Okay.
Yes.
What do you think of movies like Ninja Scroll, the anime movie?
Oh, all the that definitely is good.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, I just met the producer who produced Monster Slayer, right? Monster Slayer.
Mhm.
It was just 2 nights ago. I met the Japanese producer, which is already, I think, it's on the probably the top 10 list, in Japan and around the world. And animation is just amazing, because it's for the whole family, especially for the kids. And I even wanted to get into animation as a voice over actor
Yeah.
because I haven't done much of it yet. So please, all right, the studios for animation, remember
know.
my name,
Let 'em
James
know.
Pax. Yes, I'm ready to do the voiceover for the animation. for sure.
Lightning, do you own, I mean, I know that the studio owns it, but are you able to do anything with that character? Like give him a past story or?
No, not really. But I do have an ambition and I do have a thought I'd like to share with the fans as well and with you, that I really believe Big Trouble in Little China should not just having a sequel as Rock Johnson claimed that he's going to make one, because I heard that he's a big fan of it. But till now, I don't know what happened to the script. But I really think it deserves a TV series like Cobra Kai.
Agreed. 100%.
If Karate Kid can have the little baby Cobra Kai, why can't Big Trouble in Little China have 5 to 10 million fans around the world? Don't deserve
true.
a TV series.
It's
and
true.
I said, I would tell Disney, because Disney own it now, I would say I will be the director and the showrunner. I will write it and I'll direct it. That kind of thing.
That's awesome.
Because I'll have a lot of ideas of how to
But
turn
you said
all these.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson was going to do a sequel.
Yes.
What happened?
It has been rumored for several years.
Oh.
And I heard he bought the rights for it, and he's supposed to be having his team write the script. And nobody knows whether it's going to be a remake or a sequel. And it's been floating around for several years. And I would like to ask him myself, because if he really want to make a remake or a sequel, I can help him with the choreography, because I'm a Kung Fu expert and I have my own international Kung Fu Wushu champs on my team. And I really wanted to make it even better than Big Trouble in Little China, the original one. And I think it can bring in a lot of the Chinese traditional style, if you are into the Chinese Kung Fu movie back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and Japanese samurai movies, because I'm totally into that. And I would like to really mesh that together and really put into the Big Trouble in Little China TV series.
Yeah, because at the end of the movie, that little creature's in the back of Jack Burton's truck when they're
when they're
driving
leaving.
off.
Yeah.
So it kind of left it open.
Left it
It
open.
left it open,
Yeah.
right?
Would you rather see a remake or a part two?
I actually would like to see a sequel.
A sequel.
Definitely a sequel, and then will be kind of Back to the Future kind of thing. Will be going back hundreds of years before and then going forward. That kind of thing.
So the story of Lu Pan and the demon that possessed him.
That kind of thing. Many things can happen.
It's almost like a Star Wars, how they kind of went backwards.
Yes.
That's kind of cool. I like that.
I think that will give you a lot of options how to create some new younger characters, and then me and Lo Pan, if he's
we can
still
see why
healthy
he got
enough.
so creepy. We'll
There
find
you
out
go.
why.
Exactly. What
How did he
demon
end up
possessed him,
creepy?
right? How did he get to that point? What are you working on now?
Well, I am actually working on gonna be a new action IP called Vortex. So from the name you already know, it's about time travel. So it's about 1806 that a group of Chinese Dao monk having their light temple burned down in China. they ride on a vortex time machine and landed in New Mexico in the near future. And they begin to build their own commune and begin to help the local people to heal and rehabilitate, drug and everything. And also there's a dispute in their town, racial dispute, and Tiger, the main leader I would be playing, come out and mediate the dispute, and so that nobody gets hurt with a tea ceremony. So it's very Zen in a way, a little bit has the soul of Kung Fu series, because if you remember Kung Fu series in the 70s, it's always about teaching you to be good, to be a good human. And that's, my series has that really deep underbase of how to be a good human being, but it's still so hip that the young audience will understand it and they will love it. And later they team up with the American Special Task Force to rescue American hostages in Nigeria. That's one story.
Yeah,
that's
but
one
this
movie.
is a TV series?
No,
or a movie?
this is a movie.
Movie, okay.
But movie is already 90 minutes, but I already have another 10 episodes to follow up for TV series.
Right.
So the movie will come out, and then the TV series goes. And this one is called Operation Freedom Nigeria. So this, and then the second one is called Kung Fu Me in the Zombie Land. So you could tell that it's about Kung Fu and zombies.
Like The Walking Dead?
Something like that, but it's a little different. So I'll be bringing back Lucifer, and the zombies, and then the Light Guardians will be going underground to the underworld to, again, to fight the demons and things like that. So it's going to be totally one-of-a-kind action, original story.
Supernatural, science
Supernatural, and with sorcery, but definitely with Kung Fu, fighting with the zombies and the demons. So. Those are the two, but I definitely think that you can be very good. All right?
What about me?
here,
I want to be
Brian.
in a movie.
Brian.
Yes, in the movie.
I know.
Yes, in the
I'll
movie.
be your security.
All right.
With your stature, your
Yes, sir.
height, and the way you look, you can play, a lieutenant, in the special task
Let's
force,
go. As
and
long
you
as
can
I'm-
play a nemesis in the zombie.
Have you ever tried to get
that
more
kind of
acting
thing.
roles, Tab? Have you signed an agent to go out there and get you on auditions, or it's never really been something you truly cared about?
I mean, I've been doing the voiceover work, so
Right.
that's been cool
That's
for
good
me.
enough.
I've been
Yeah.
doing a lot of voiceover
But I'm saying
work.
you've never went out and got a theatrical agent to go out there and get you an audition.
I really
So
think you should.
I should.
I think you should too, bro. I agree with
Really,
James.
I'm
Like,
telling
Well, you're hearing it first here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
James Pax has guaranteed me a role in his new
Feature
TV
film.
series or film, which is due to drop when, or when is going to shoot.
Well, hopefully, I'm still looking for the financing.
Okay.
Definitely studio heads. Okay?
Studio
Get
heads,
ready.
please.
it's always
Get ready.
the money.
It's going to be big.
It is.
Yes.
It's
always
always
the
the
money.
money.
I
Always
can
that.
only say this, all right? And
Yeah.
I'm not bragging. When it comes out, the fans will say, I want to compare this only to Crouching Tiger,
Hidden
Dragon, or Kill Bill.
Yep.
And that's my word, and that's my promise
Yeah. That's
to my
cool.
fans.
James, what's your background in martial arts?
I have to tell you, I started when I was a kid watching Bruce Lee, on TV in Hong Kong and doing his things and demonstrating. And he's the man who inspired me to begin to learn Kung Fu in Hong Kong. Started with Wing Chun, and then by the teens, I moved to New York and New Jersey. I began to learn karate, taekwondo, and then as I get older, I learn aikido. But just talk about weapons, 3-section staff, 9-section steel whip, broadswords, staffs, spears, I've learned it all.
Mm-hmm.
I never really competed because I really don't think I'm the kind of person who want to compete. But I learned it just because it was a hobby of mine, and then because I was so good. And that's why John picked me for that Big Trouble. And that just really opens up everything I've learned just for hobby. It became a professional skill, that I could use in my movies.
I'm gonna mention some martial artists, and I want you to just give me the first word that comes to mind. Okay,
Right.
I'm gonna mention 5 martial artists. You ready?
Yeah.
Steven Seagal.
Aikido, fine.
Cool. Ernie Reyes Jr.
Very agile for his, very agile in the movies that he's done.
Okay. Third, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Pretty boy.
I like
words.
that. Pretty boy. Jet Li.
A true wushu champion
Mm.
because his style is called wushu, which is a sport about kung fu. Okay, but he is a wushu. He has been a wushu
Is he
champ.
as good in person as he is on TV? You watch him in Lethal Weapon and something,
Mhm.
and you're like, yo, this dude's a badass.
He competed in China.
Yeah.
He was the champion for several years since he was in the teens. I think he started competing since he was 15. He was very good. Yes,
And he
of
had the
his
movie
style.
with Aaliyah.
Yeah,
Mhm. Romeo Must Die.
Romeo Must Die. Yeah.
but he's different than Jackie Chan.
Mhm.
If you want to ask me about,
I was
going to
ask you, Jackie, because I know where he's going next. I was going to say Jackie Chan.
I have one more.
Yes,
Dan Inosanto.
a legend. Of
Legend.
course. Yes, because Bruce.
Who's that? Was it
Definitely.
Ip Man?
Dan Inosanto. Nunchucks.
Nunchucks.
Filipino guy.
Oh,
Eskrima.
I was thinking, who's Ip Man?
Oh, Ip Man is what's his name? Ip Man.
Donnie.
Donnie Yang.
Yeah, Donnie Yang.
Donnie Yang is very good too, of course.
Yeah.
He's American Chinese, but he also learned wushu in China when he was a young age because I heard that he was such a brat and he was getting into fight,
Right.
during his teens, and that's why his mother brought him back to China and have him trained in wushu just to, strain him up. And that's how he got into the movies. But he's very good.
You've
definitely.
seen Ip Man?
Yeah.
Ip Man.
With Mike Tyson.
Yes, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I think they already have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think maybe they're doing 5 right now.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
But definitely, it is an IP
Mhm.
that is probably the most successful IP so far in terms of the box office
Yeah.
gross. Yes.
Good movie.
Okay. Well, I thought you were going to go this one next. Bruce Lee.
Oh, he already mentioned Bruce.
Well, he mentioned him, but did you meet him?
No, I did not because I was too young.
Too young, yeah. Because he
But-
died in what, 71?
Something like that.
Yeah.
70s.
He died young, but
Yeah.
I have to say again, the legend.
Of course.
Because without him, there would not be Kung Fu martial art movie today.
Mhm.
Everybody that you mentioned, they all came after
Of
him.
course.
Especially, not Seagal, but Jean-Claude Van Damme. Because
Pretty
without
much.
him, there won't be Jean-Claude Van Damme having a place in the movie industry. Really, really. Bruce,
So
Bruce-
you like Jean-Claude Van Damme is what you're saying?
yes.
Yeah.
But on top of that, may I add another person? Maybe you can tell me. Chuck Norris.
You have any ID?
Yeah.
Chuck Norris.
I don't know, bro. I was purist with Bruce Lee. I really know what Chuck was about. I get
Yeah.
that. But Bruce Lee was just like, it's like side A and side C. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Bruce is the pinnacle
The
of
pinnacle.
Definitely.
he's one of the few people, I always say this, he's one of the few people that you can consider an icon.
Mhm.
Muhammad Ali is an icon.
Icon,
Jackie
yes.
Robinson is an icon.
Icon,
There's very
yes.
few people you can put there.
Michael
Bruce Lee is
Jackson.
there. Yeah.
You're very true.
Yeah.
But may I say that Chuck had competed in so many, back then they call it
He was kickboxing, right?
kickboxing. Yeah. Free contact kickboxing.
Yeah.
And he was very good.
Yeah.
But I have to say, the movie that they shot in Italy at the Roman Colosseum,
Mhm.
remember?
Mhm.
That scene is really the epitome of kung fu fighting. If you really go back and look at it again, that every scene was carefully designed.
Mhm.
before fighting. I mean, you see the fighting today, they just start punching
of
each other,
course.
but there's a procedure.
Right.
They started with loosening up their muscles.
The way of the dragon.
Yeah, Way of the Dragon.
Yeah. Way of
And
the
then
Dragon.
they were staring at each other, and then they became fighting. There's a beginning, middle, climax, and an end. It's just amazing, really. That's why I have to say Chuck Norris is definitely up there because of the effort that he had made since he was very young.
Okay.
And it was definitely Bruce gave him the chance to be in that movie. That's why when Bruce passed away, he were able to take over and continue that privilege to spread his Chikundo. Although
much hate we giving John Clavin. Bloodsport is one of my favorite movies. I like Bloodsport.
The
I think
acting was
Bloodsport
pretty
is-
bad. Like if you look back, the acting's pretty
It was
bad.
terrible.
It's terrible.
But
but it's a classic.
Yeah, it's
the
a classic.
movie itself is a classic. I agree.
Bloodsport is a classic.
It's a classic.
Yes.
I'm not gonna just jump on somebody to jump on somebody. Bloodsport was I liked it. And you
Tom
had
Poe?
you had a young Forrest Whitaker in it. Just starting out. But I liked Bloodsport. I'm not
That
gonna
was good.
front.
Good movie. I watched it the other
It is
night.
a good movie.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Bolo. He doesn't get his
Bolo
props,
Young.
dude.
Yeah.
Bolo's amazing.
Right.
I mean, from being with Bruce Lee to,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
another martial artist. And I'm like,
True. Who are your top 5 martial artists of all time?
Gotta
For whatever reason.
start with Bruce, number one.
Of course.
I'm gonna go. I was a ninja kid, so I love Sho Kosugi.
Oh,
Mm.
definitely.
Sho Kosugi
Yeah.
was my guy.
Of course.
bro. Like,
Yes.
that was
That's a good one. Yeah.
a very good
um,
one.
And then number 3 would have to be. I'm gonna go Ernie Reyes because we know him and he's like our boy.
But he was a badass though.
He was a
Ernie
little kid that was
badass.
kicking
Yeah, but he
ass in
was,
Last
he was.
Dragon and Ninja Turtles and
Yes.
Surf Kid, all that.
Yeah.
Surf Ninjas. That's number 3. Number 4. What was the actor's name in the Master of the Flying Guillotine? He didn't have an arm. The one-armed boxer.
Oh, the Chinese movie?
Yeah.
Oh.
The,
What's his name? I know
was-
who
he
we
was
are
dope.
talking about.
Gannon will look it up right now.
Master of
Yeah.
the Flying Guillotine. Great movie.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I can't remember.
I forgot his
remember.
name. The
He
one-armed
passed
guy.
away.
Yeah, he did pass
Yeah,
away.
about 5
And
years
then
ago.
number 5, I'm gonna say James Pax.
Oh,
James Pax.
I
There we
like
go.
that guy.
flattered.
I
I'm
like
flattered.
that guy.
Thank you, bro. All right.
See,
Vortex.
Put me in the movie.
I'm too Americanized.
You don't
Right?
even have to ask.
Thank you, brother.
Before I came in here, I was already
already
in my
think about
mind.
it.
I need to tell Taboo about this.
Dope. I'm in.
Jimmy
Jimmy
Wang
Wang Yu, Tab. Jimmy Wang Yu.
Yep.
That's who you're talking about. Jimmy Wang.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll give you my
Yeah,
5.
Jimmy Wang Yu. Wang Yu.
Wang
In
Yu.
Chinese, they call it Wang Yu.
Yeah.
That's why in
But
English
see,
they
I'm
call
too
it Wang Yu.
Americanized, so I'm gonna give you my 5
Wang Yu
because I'm
is
very
good. It's
Americanized.
good. And you know the name. My God, that's incredible.
Bruce Lee, number 1, of
one,
course.
yep.
Yeah.
Ralph Macchio, number 2.
Oh, okay. yeah.
Karate
Go,
Kid.
sure.
Daniel LaRusso. Miyagi Dojo.
No,
That's
Miyagi
right.
Dojo.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go Jackie Chan just because I've watched
Oh,
every
yeah,
movie
yeah,
Jackie
yeah,
ever
yeah,
did. I
yes,
love
yes.
Jackie.
Uh-huh.
Jet Li's gonna be in there for me,
For sure.
and then Ip Man.
Okay.
Ip Man.
For
Yeah,
sure.
dope.
For sure.
Those
That's
are
all
my
good
5.
choice.
Because
all good
I,
choice.
the martial arts was cool, but I didn't study martial arts, so
Mhm.
I looked at it from like a crossover perspective of like they were good martial artists, and it translated enough to TV and film where it looked real and they looked cool, and it was something that was entertaining for me.
All right. Give me your top. You two. Top. And it can't be your movie.
Okay.
Top 3 martial arts films.
Oh, James, you're the guest. You go first. Top 3 martial arts films.
Again, the Bruce Lee's movie in Italy. What's it called?
Into the Dragon.
Enter the Dragon.
Yeah.
1.
7 Samurai.
Ooh,
Okay.
That's
It's
a classic.
not really kung fu,
Yeah.
but it's a classic, iconic movie by Kurosawa, the director, and the Japanese actor. I cannot recall his name now. But that movie is such a simple story, but it's about humanity, saving the villages and all of that. It's just such a great movie. And it's the way that Kurosawa shot it,
Mhm.
the way they're walking out from the corridor, and it's like sands are turning up,
Mhm.
on the ground, and it's just so the way it looked in black and white,
Right.
it was just amazing.
Yeah.
I'm telling
Classic.
you, classic.
Mhm.
And Keanu Reeves' biggest movie, what's
John
the name?
Wick.
Not John Wick, the one before, the futuristic one.
Oh, Matrix.
Matrix.
I was going to say Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Matrix was great.
Yeah,
Matrix
Point Break,
and
Johnny Utah.
Yeah.
And the fourth one, I should say, Kill Bill.
Oh, Kill
Bill.
Bill was great too.
Yeah.
Great soundtrack.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna go number one with your girl Michelle Yeoh, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
good
Love
one.
that movie.
Oh, yes.
Great
yes.
wire work. Great.
Yes, yes.
All of it. Number two will be Game of Death,
Game of
where
Death,
where he
right.
fought against Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Right. Going up the stairs.
Yep, going up the stairs. Number three will be I'm gonna go Master of the Flying Guillotine. Like I said
Yeah,
earlier.
Right.
you love
Wong
that
Yu.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great old school movie.
Great
Definitely,
one. Yeah, of
definitely.
course. Yeah.
What about you?
Again, see, I'm
American, yeah.
I'm American, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Enter the Dragon, of course, is always gonna be
Yeah.
number one because I feel like that movie, like you said, set the tone
Mhm.
for kung fu and martial arts
Yeah.
films across the globe. That's always gonna be number one. I'm gonna go Last Dragon.
Great movie.
I love
Yeah.
The Last
Good
Dragon.
pop.
That's a
Last
big
Dragon.
part of my childhood.
Mhm.
And then I'm gonna go Bloodsport. I'm gonna throw Bloodsport. in.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw Bloodsport in there.
Bloodsport, man.
I thought it would, I love that movie. So I like what I like. If you don't like it, pick your own list.
Yeah, I love that.
No, I like it. I like it.
All right, so we heard a lot of great things here with
Yeah.
James. We heard about Vortex. We heard about possibly the 40th anniversary of Big Trouble in Little China, his tour.
Can we get a really good Big Trouble story that maybe you haven't told too many
Mhm.
people before? We kind of glazed over some parts of it, but is there something during filming, or can you take us through that iconic scene where you got the lightning going crazy? And
Yeah, well, I can only say from my own experience that back in the '86, the wiring work is not as fluid as today. So with the costume, 20 pound to begin with, another 25 pound with my big straw hat,
Yeah.
hand woven, shipped in from Japan. I had to be lifted, in harness up in the air, 10 meters high, and then getting dropped down at least 10 times. It was just a horrific experience.
Mm.
But, I still had to do it. But it was just exciting, the way that John directs is what I really admire. That he really cares about every little details. Even when he came to the costume room and he looked at my costume, he touches everything. Okay, make sure, he asked, do you feel comfortable? I said, no, the costume is okay, but the hat is way too big and I don't think I can run around with it. But he said, okay, you're not going to run around. You're just going to be lifted up and down and then do your action as you're just standing still. I said, okay, that's good enough. Then I'll begin to think about what I'm going to be doing. But the way he direct everything he does is, doing a box, like he's looking at the scene, with the framing right there. And he cares about every actors, and he's a human. He cares about people, basically. And he is very meticulous about every scene, every details. And that's why Big Trouble can come out so incredibly good. But I don't know if I can say it, but I have to say, I spoke to his wife and he said, and I was asking her, why such an iconic movie today that back then it was a dud, a box office dud.
Mm-hmm.
He said, because 20th Century Fox had a change of studio head. The contract was signed before the new studio head comes in. And he was not a favorite of Chinese culture. So he didn't put any money into the promotion.
Yeah.
And that's why the movie did not get its deserved marketing. And John was very angry at that. And I think she said something that soon after she quit the business. I don't know if I'm wrong or what.
Interesting.
But
That
really,
is.
that's a very heavy statement.
Yeah.
And I think that tells you about the big business back then.
Yeah.
A lot of discrimination.
Definitely. I have one more question. Top 3 women martial artists, female martial artists.
Well, definitely Michelle Yeoh's
Mhm.
image, okay, although she claimed that she's not a martial artist. But definitely Michelle Yeoh's, the roles that she played is are iconic
Yeah.
in many ways.
Because her forms look real. They
Yeah.
look, you know,
Yeah.
they
I
look
like her in
genuine.
Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah, she's great.
Rich Asians.
The mom.
great. Yeah.
Right. Rich Asians are good too. And Cynthia Rothrock, in terms of Caucasian women, warrior wise, I think she's definitely up there. Because I watched some of her videos as she was a teenager competing in California for the Kung Fu competition. And she did quite well when she was a teenager. And that's how she got scouted and went to Hong Kong and starting to do Hong Kong action movie. And that's how she started. And I think Cynthia definitely deserve all the credits.
Yeah.
You know.
I want to say thank you to my guest, James, for coming out, sharing his space, getting us excited about the movie role. You heard it here. Possible movie role.
I would love to see
directing.
him. Tab, I really hope you take his advice. Now that he said it out loud, it's in my head going, he's right, bro.
Yeah.
You would be an incredible movie star. You're already a star.
Yeah, you
Now
can
just do it on the
play-
big screen. Instead of big stages, do it on a big screen.
I love it.
There's so many roles that you could portray. I really see it, whether it's Nemesis or just a good guy.
Because you have like this image where you could go scary
Yeah.
or you're funny.
Yep.
Like you got this charisma where you could kind of go
Either way.
either way. Yeah,
That's
you could do
right.
something very serious or you could be kind of funny too.
Producers, directors, showrunners, screenwriters, please
Holla at your boy.
holla at your boy. It's been a blessing having James Pax. Let's make some noise for
Yes.
James Pax.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's right, y'all. It's Taboo Nawasha, and I hope you enjoyed geeking out with me and going straight into geek mode. For more information, for more videos, subscribe, like, and comment. Share it with your friends. Much love. There it is.
There's only one way for Chin to survive, and that is to conquer. And the day is yours, and this is yours.
In the 10 years since he came to the throne in 247 BC, King Ying-Jen has strengthened his power through war. He fights for his life and for a dream, to forge a new nation, China. Many great kings have tried before him, and all have failed. But this time will be different, because Ying-Jen is different.
Hi, James Pax, Lightning from Big Trouble in Little China. Guess what? The interview that I did on Taboo's Comics and Kicks teaser just came out yesterday, and within 15 hours, we got 90,000 viewers and 5,000 hearts. That is an amazing stats. My goodness. And I want to thank all the fans that showed their enthusiastic support for the teaser and expressing their comments about whether we should make a sequel, a TV series, or a remake of Big Trouble. Yeah, that really shows fandom's power. On top of that, tomorrow I'm going to be in Chatsworth, LA to meet more fans in a private signing. And next week I'm going to be in Florida, first time ever, to do a 5-city tour to meet up all the Floridian fans. All right, and in May, I'll be in Europe, first stop in Hawkinge, UK, on to Paris, meet and greet, and Italy for many other shows. I can't wait to meet all my global fans. Tap in to our world tour schedule, www.kungfulegends.com. All right? So wait, and I will be there to meet you and to give you a big hug. I will see you there.